Hey, Taurus rising. This is your full moon in Sagittarius forecast for June 3rd. This full moon is in your eighth house. The eighth house rules shared resources, it's other people's assets generally. It's also contracts, business partnerships, it's how you share yourself. So that is where the full moon is. It's optimistic. This also rules investments, inheritance. And when it comes to contracts, we can also think of empowerment and disempowerment. Am I empowered in this situation or not? So sometimes it's endings, sometimes it's secrets. It's the very root. I always equate the eighth house with the root chakra because it's your gut, your instinct. That is where this full moon is shining a light. But it's ruled by Jupiter in your first house of self, your body, your identity, who you are, how others see you. So Jupiter is there enacting changes, and Jupiter doesn't necessarily enact change, but Uranus is there with it. So Jupiter is just expanding that Uranian influence because they're in the same sign. So there is change in identity, change in self, change in maybe who you are even attracted to, things like that, because the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio, where relationships are in the astrology chart. So it's self. How does self relate to maybe your boundaries, the eighth house, maybe contracts that you have? Is this a situation in which you want to be seen, stand up for yourself? Is this a situation in which you are maybe tired of doing it alone and you decide you want to team up with somebody? Those are very possible situations that could happen. Now, the other thing is Venus will be moving into your fourth house. That's home, family. It's also very internal. The fourth and the eighth house are very internal. The fourth house is about your emotional security, nurturing, where you feel at home, where you feel comfortable. That is going to square your first house of identity and self and maybe independence. So this could have you maybe wanting to stay home and just be indulgent, like I think Venus in the fourth house is very comfy. It could also be a situation in which you want to stay home, but you're being encouraged to do something else with your maybe being seen, putting yourself out there, the first house. Um, Let me see what else I can say about the first house. Independence versus feeling safe, I think, is another thing that could happen with the first and fourth house squares. The difference is it's Venus, which is values. I value my maybe creative presence when I'm at home. That's Leo. I want to feel good when I'm at home. Jupiter and Taurus is like, yeah, but then, maybe you should remodel your home. Yeah, it's just a situation. It's not like that way for everybody, but Jupiter and Taurus is like, hey, we're doing something here with your identity, with your self-worth, with your assets, Taurus. And Venus and Leo is maybe giving a cue into what that needs to be directed towards. So also Mars and Leo will square Uranus and Taurus coming up in the next couple of weeks. And Mars in the fourth house is about maybe emotions coming to the surface. It could be feeling uncomfortable. Good thing we have Venus there, making it feel a little better. But that's going to square Uranus in the first house of independence, identity, self. And so there is this need to change. It will definitely come to a head when Mars squares Uranus. So, um, it could even be about like needing alone time at home, or it could be about needing to feel comfortable when you are being creative or romantically. Leo is also linked to relationships. So this could have some relationship signatures, especially when it comes to emotional security and feeling taken care of in a relationship. That's going to be something Taurus risings really need right now. The only other thing going on is Saturn. Saturn is in your 11th house of networking, the future, large groups of people. And this kind of adds even a little more of a understanding to what you're working at. And you could be working on getting yourself out there. I mean, Saturn is like, hey, this is where we need to master networking, how you fit into society, maybe leadership. It's an 11th house thing, the future, planning for the future. It feels like maybe that's on your plate as well. So in the next week or two, Mercury will move into Gemini and it will square Saturn there. That also happened on May 27th. So that is from your second house of finances to this 11th house of networking and goals. So there could be that obstacle. It could be about finances around this time where you feel like you need to push through something. But I think we have plenty of energy with Mars and Leo, and it's going to square Uranus. So the energy keeps churning, even with a hiccup of an obstacle. Okay, well, I will see you for the new moon in Gemini. Yes, new moon in Gemini, which will be your second house of finances, June 18th. I will catch you on the flip side.